Hello, I'm Pip Thorne from the IR department. This year for International Women's Day, the theme is Embracing Equity. We're pleased to bring you an interview series with leaders from a variety of industries where we discuss with them their unique experiences and perspectives. In this interview following, we chat with Eilis Quinn, who is a non-executive director at Servatus Limited and the general manager of Jazz Pharmaceuticals for Australia and New Zealand. Enjoy.
I've been lucky in my career to be involved in multiple biotechs and pharmaceutical companies that are looking at the underlying cause of diseases. And so for me, meeting those patients that I have treated or helped treat in one way or another, whether it's clinical trials, whether it's actually getting the medicine to them, to their homes, and they range from cancers to cystic fibrosis to neurology areas to endocrinology. I've had a diversity of disease areas that I've worked for. And so I can't think of one particular area, but I think the consistent aspect that I've had throughout my career is the patients and making a difference to patients' lives. And not just the patients, the actual carer of those patients, because a number of the patients were little children. And so to me, when you have that image of a child, like I've received letters, photographs from patients, knowing they've got the medicines and I've got those medicines through to them, which is a long process in the pharmaceutical world. You've got the research and development, you've got the commercialization, the regulatory affairs, and then into the reimbursement. It can take decades before the medicine actually gets into the hand of a patient. But when you see that, when you see the smile of a kid that's sending, and the parents are sending you photos and letters to say thank you for the effort, well, that to me is the most important thing. Well, there's always challenges in a career, and I don't think it's necessarily because I was female. I can't think of one particular aspect that was specifically focused on me being female, but I think maybe more from a cultural perspective and understanding is probably the biggest challenges, but I've been quite lucky. I've been supported by males and females throughout my career. I've made myself find mentors. It doesn't come naturally, but you have to sometimes go and ask before you can receive and benefit from from such mentors. But I have not really had the challenges in such a negative way. I suppose maternity leave in some way sets you back. You're always, I have 3 kids. 3 kids means 3 levels of maternity. I had them during my career. So, you will have to take a period of time out for your family. That does set you back in this world. Even if you're with an international company, no matter how much they say, it does set you back because you're not there. You're missing 6 months or you're missing 4 months. Luckily, I've had a very supportive husband. He understands what I do and why I have to do it. And maybe he also thinks it's probably better off I am at work, right? Because I'm if I'm bored, I'm dangerous. But otherwise, I think challenging wise, I think I've been quite lucky. I've heard stories of other people that have had negative consequences, but for me, less so. I have a young daughter. She's 13. I'm preparing her right now, so I start quite early in, and it's primarily on that EQ aspect. To be emotionally aware, to watch the room, to learn from others, learn from the good people that you're watching, but also from the mistakes that you think that people are. Could you do things differently? What would you have done? Let's debate it. Let's discuss it. At our dinner table, we have debates. We go through solution focused team building because I've got 3 children with 3 different personalities, and they have to sometimes work together to come up. They have to learn to negotiate with me. So rather than they're coming to ask for everything and I say yes, I can say, okay, let's negotiate. So rather than give up. So I'm training them even from an early age on how to deal with the world because it's going to be complicated going forward. It's not going to get easier. And yes, I think companies are better prepared, maybe less so the Australian companies compared to the international ones. But I think no matter what, that's the best you can do is for them to find people that they aspire to and that they learn from them, and but also learn from people they don't, so that they can leverage that learnings in their future careers. So the best advice I have, I actually had a young girl, a neighbor of mine that just did chemistry as science. And she came to me and said, Eilish, what can I do next? I've got no experience. My CV looks crap because all I've got is work in the shops and I've never had any placements as part of my university. And I said to her, it's networking. It's then, you come to me, I'm going to introduce you to 3 other people. Those 3 other people are going to introduce you to someone else. And maybe you won't find the exact experience that you're looking for, but you'll learn from hearing their stories and they will put you in contact with everyone. I find that I have a natural ability to network, and I advise everyone else out there to just network, meet people, say hello in the lifts, not in the lifts, but at every function that you can go to from a biotech, pharmaceutical industry or otherwise. It's just go out and meet people, get comfortable with starting the conversation. You learn so much from others. That's the key. I think that there's a focus in Australia in relation to getting an equity of different sexes on the board, right? Males, females, and so on. But I think that the best boards I've seen is not just looking at spreading that diversification through that gender differences, but actually leveraging where people come from, the cultural background, the experience, what they're bringing. And so the best boards for me are looking at a wealth of experience from an expertise from around the world, both from the commercial side, the finance side, the research side, the manufacturing side, because all of those experiences bring more varied solution-focused decision-making at the board level. And that's important, right? Because what happens there, it sets the right pace and the right attitude for the way the business is going to run. And ultimately, that's going to be better for the shareholders, better for the employees, and ultimately the patients, which is what we're trying to do.
On behalf of the IR department, we hope you enjoyed this International Women's Day interview. We look forward to bringing you progress updates in 2024. Thank you.